Asian Power magazine recently caught up with DP Cleantech Simon Parker to talk about what's happening in power in Asia.
DP Cleantech is an international company. We're based in China and in Denmark. We've got about 4,000 people in the company, and created in 2004. We were created with the express purpose of trying to move from a company building discrete biomass power plants to a industry and a business, and we've now accumulated 19 operating power plants in China. We own and operate 19 power plants, which is 408 megawatts in China. And in developing that knowledge and expertise, we were able to drive the price point down using European technology and Chinese engineering and manufacturing to about 1 million per megawatt of installed capacity. And now what we've done is we've developed a second business where we're exporting that technology, equipment and solutions to the global market, Southeast Asia and Europe, and we have a substantial customer base now both in Asia and in Europe and in China. Well, if you take Denmark is the world's most developed biomass utilization. Their estimates are that they basically utilize the waste energy. About 80% of the waste energy from agriculture in Denmark is effectively utilized in the generation of heat and power. If you take China as a comparative market, less than 5% of the agricultural waste is utilized. Most of it is just left to lie fallow in the field, and then either the slash and burn agriculture or it decomposes in the field. If you are to utilize about, well, there's 800 million tons per annum estimated of agricultural waste in China. That gives you the capability to have about in excess of 1 to 2 or 10 to 20 gigawatts of power very comfortably, simply from using the waste in the field today. And so the industry is very, very young in most parts of the world, with the exception of Northern Europe. And what we're trying to do is take what has been successfully done in the European markets and bring it to other substantial agricultural belts and try and develop a power industry through the waste. There is substantial opportunity here in Thailand, where we are today. We see that market is very big. The Philippines has great potential. Indonesia, again, with massive forestation, has huge potential. But the actual ability to execute, to talk about the waste is only one component, but you need to have the right government policies supporting the development of renewable energy. And if you look today, we're increasingly seeing good support for wind energy, for solar energy, and I would say that the biomass to power industry is just now reaching a point of mass adoption, and there's a great deal of focus from many governments in trying to work out how they can develop a viable biomass industry. I wouldn't say there are necessarily skeptics. The challenge that you have with biomass is that the certainty over the input price of the fuel is the challenge, and that's primarily what we're about. I think when you build one power plant, the risk is that you need to purchase that fuel, and it's very difficult to get long-term supply agreements from a disparate farming community. There's no real way to break that. You can't change the agricultural infrastructure. So what you need to do is you need to have multiple sources of income. So one company that just has one power plant is heavily reliant on the fuel in that local area. Once you can build 15 to 20 power plants, you have the ability to actually scale back on a given power plant. If the pricing moves ahead, you can just stop producing at that given power plant without destroying the economics of your business. So you need scale. And of course, because it's waste, it has no natural value to anybody else. So the beauty of biomass is it's utilizing waste. When you have one power plant, you have the problem of the fact that the balance of power changes dramatically. Any company who's put 30 million to 40 million US dollars in the ground for a biomass power plant has to keep producing. When that company has 20 power plants, you have the ability to step back, and then of course the price will dramatically reduce again. And so it's making sure you have an equilibrium of the purchase price for the fuel that will create a viable biomass industry. Well, we're very hopeful. We're an ambitious company. We intend to be at about 1 gigawatt of biomass power on the grid by mid-2011. We have 300 megawatts today under construction, so we will be at 700 megawatts by the end of next year. That again will extend our position as a world leader in biomass power plant operation. The second side of the business is we have great hopes for exporting our technology, our engineering, our solutions and our equipment around the world. So we see huge growth in the European market, where we have a substantial operation servicing that market, and we also see, as all of the governments continue to realize the benefits of utilizing the waste to convert to energy, we think that the market potential for us as a solutions provider for biomass globally will be huge.